Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Coming up tonight, another man has lost his life on the streets of New Providence. Chamber of Commerce president speaks on supply chain issues. Education minister addresses major curriculum changes. A training institute launched for the constituency of Elizabeth. And the Generation Next segment features a marine biologist with a passion to connect the community to nature. Welcome to our news weekend edition. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Topping news tonight, police are investigating a recent homicide which took place early this morning. Preliminary reports say shortly after 2 a.m. today, police were called about a shooting incident which took place on Mildred Avenue, just west of Golden Isles Road. A man was reported to be shot and taken to the Carmichael Police Station by a neighbor. EMS personnel met him at the station, but unfortunately were unable to save him. Evidence from the initial investigations have revealed that the male victim arrived at his residence when two males walked up to his car armed with guns. They shot the man multiple times and then left the scene on foot, heading north. In other news, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce says local businesses are seeing a drop in profits due to disruption in supply chains, and warning the situation could worsen with the current crisis in Ukraine. Bethany McDermott reports.
Many local businesses are feeling the brunt of global disruption in the supply chain, according to Chamber of Commerce President Walton Russell. He said local businesses are having difficulty sourcing products in high demand, resulting in loss in revenue and dissatisfied customers. Quality Home Center manager Jenny Smith explains they're now getting items that were out of stock before Christmas.
Yes, it has been a delay because we've had products that we were trying to order like from November, December of last year. So basically our products are just actually walking in the door now. As you can see, like with decor items, bed and bath stuff like towels and comforters, decor, people wanted to fix up for the Christmas. So it was very limited with that, but now they could come and check it out because stuff are coming in.
The supply chain issue is no doubt a direct result of the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic, but Russell explains manufacturers are gradually ramping up production as demand increases. But there's still another issue.
Significant percentage of the workforce of some of the multinational companies and manufacturers are delaying their return to the workforce. These essential workers include, for example, factory workers, warehouse workers, delivery drivers. And the limited supply of goods and labor is contributing to a sustained disruption in the global supply chain.
This issue is one of the causes of price inflation in the local market. In recent weeks, businesses like SuperValue and Lowe's Pharmacy warned of price increases. Meanwhile, Quality Home Center says customers came in and left dissatisfied, adding that they've seen a decrease in traffic.
It has impacted us tremendously because you see it we have our sale the end of the month. And this sale has passed. You could count the amount of persons who are in and out because the fact is there were a lot of things that we were asking for we didn't have in as yet.
With the ongoing crisis in Ukraine, Russell says the disruption in the global supply chain could worsen.
Some pundits believe that the crisis in Ukraine could result in the inflation of transportation and energy prices.
Reporting for our news, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Several subjects taught at public schools across the country are getting a major overhaul thanks to newly revised curricula by the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training. Our Jasmine Brown spoke to two top education officials about the changes and has this report.
Pre-primary civics, primary mathematics, language arts, primary social studies, primary science, office procedures, carpentry and construction technology, computer studies, and biology are just some of the subjects with updated curriculums. Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training Assistant Director in the Early Education section, Leisha Burrows, says the updates could not have come soon enough.
This really means a new philosophy in preparing our students for the 21st century. We know that times have changed and that students need new skills to be competent and confident in the world today and for the future.
Some updates to the learning process include integrating coding and software development into computer studies, a move officials say brings education into the 21st century. In addition to changing the curriculum for some subjects, brand new curriculum will be introduced for entrepreneurial skills.
And so we recognize that best practices, that new strategies, that our curriculum must be relevant so that children can not only function, but function well.
When it comes to pre-primary education, Assistant Director of Education with responsibility for primary curriculum, Vanria Jack, says they are implementing critical thinking components.
For this curriculum, we're really focusing on getting students to apply these skills to real-life situations. So let's say for a reading skill such as comparing and contrasting, we're bringing in the real-life experience, maybe looking at two different cereal products. So which one is best? Let's look at the label and read it. In this day and age, we look at having the fake information out there. So we're teaching them about fact and opinion and how to verify, the information that's out there, that you don't just accept, what is said.
While acknowledging they have made significant strides, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin says there is also a need for a review of the physical education and creative arts curriculum. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
60 Elizabeth Estates constituency residents are on their way to better careers, having picked up some important professional skills. In the very first sitting of the Elizabeth Training Institute, created by parliamentarian JoBeth Colby Davis, who admits she's surprised by the overwhelming response.
When I did my fact-finding mission, I understood that there were issues related to access to the National Training Agency, and a lot of persons in the East just complained about not being able to certify themselves and just advance and develop their skills. And so I reached out to two very skilled coordinators, Aldika and Leo, and they assisted me with framing up the program, and we're now being able to offer this classes and courses to our constituents. And I'm quite excited that we're ready to expand, and so we're also welcoming corporate sponsors, other persons in the community that has various skills, maybe retired teachers, retired nurses, other persons with IT skills, business development skills. We're inviting them to be a part of the Elizabeth Training Institute.
The curriculum includes resume writing, professional skills, interviewing, and communication skills. Program coordinator Aldika Colbrook says that her focus is the do's and don'ts of creating a professional resume.
We are actually sharing with our students how to construct their resume, the important do's and don'ts about creating their resumes, ensuring that persons know how to put it together, and ensuring that even from your email, exactly what persons are looking for, because I shared with the students some business places from your email, they won't look at you, and so we want them to understand how to clearly define and describe what it is that they want to do for the particular job that they are looking forward to achieving.
Participant Linda Lee Bain says she is grateful it's free of charge.
I'm looking to gain some more knowledge. Things I thought were but wasn't, so modern day times bring out more things.
Participants are officially certified and now have new resumes. The minister says she hopes to make the training more consistent.
Maybe we can do one for small business development and how to do business plans. And so that's the next exciting one that we'll have coming out, and it's planned for the end of March. And so if we can do these once a month, I think that'll be a good one. And then as the training sessions and the requests come in and the assistants come in, we maybe can go to every 2 weeks.
Opposition leader Michael Paintard accusing the Davis administration of intentionally excluding the opposition when meeting with health officials on COVID-19. This, he says, is preventing him from adequately weighing in on related matters. His comments followed those of acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper, whom this week announced plans to end the 5-day COVID test requirement for visitors.
This administration is refusing to involve the opposition in the briefing by the EOC. They have an obligation in our estimation. We certainly provided, it wasn't a courtesy. it was the sensible thing for a government to do to involve the official opposition when they're having discussions with the health professionals so that we could all be privy to the data that is being made available to us. And this government has failed to do so.
Still to come on our news, the Coconut Factory is taking care of all things coconut. Reach Out celebrates their 15th anniversary, and Generation Next is on the way. That's coming up when our news returns. You're watching Our News Weekend Edition. Welcome back. Located on East Bay Street, the Coconut Factory is home to all things coconut. Co-owner Yolette Etienne Davis says the company was founded 10 years ago. She started off small by learning how to make coconut oil. And now, if you can think of it, the Coconut Factory can make it.
From the coconut meat, we produce coconut oil, coconut milk, coconut flour, shredded coconut, and coconut chips and coconut butter. And that's our core set of products, and all of those products just contain one ingredient, and that's coconut. No additives, no preservatives. Using our coconut food, core coconut food products as an ingredient, we produce vegan cheese sticks, sour cream, ice cream, cream ice, which is a sorbet with coconut milk added. We also produce vegan puddings, and we also just introduced a new line of coconut rum liqueurs and our signature line of sky juices made with the coconut. And we produce everything locally.
Etienne Davis says the Coconut Factory is the first company to process the entire coconuts with no waste. The line of products also includes shampoos and conditioners, toothpaste, soaps, and even products for your pets. The co-owners also source all coconuts from within the country.
We know that there's a lot of coconuts in the Family Islands, in particular South Andros. The main reason why we wanted to do that is what would happen if we were to import coconuts and the country shuts down? We would be out of production. The other reason is we wanted to make sure to keep that the largest expense, which is our raw material, in the country. And one of the important reasons is we know how our coconuts, our natural coconuts are. We know that they are wild grown and they are organic. We wanted the quality coconuts.
She says during the pandemic, business actually picked up at the Coconut Factory as Bahamians were looking for healthier alternatives.
It took some doing to get the locals to know what coconut flour and shredded coconut and coconut butter was all about. And the way I overcame that was posting a lot of recipes on my Facebook page and on Instagram. And that, once they knew how to use it, they started to come around and purchase more.
Reach Out Youth Organization wrapping up its 15th anniversary celebrations recently. Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, Obi Wilshcombe, notes the country is currently plagued with a number of issues, particularly as it relates to young people. While commending Reach Out founder Dudley Said for his work, Wilshcombe challenged Bahamians to return to core values.
Some of those good old days when it was true that it took a village to raise a child, when it was true that no child didn't have a parent, because even if your parent was not at home, the parent in the neighborhood always watched over you. We have to return to the days when you see a child doing the wrong thing, you stand up no matter where you are. You don't behave like some I see now. When things are wrong, they stand up and take a picture. When women are being beaten on streets, they stand up and they take a picture and then send it everywhere they possibly can. That's not what you do when you care. You stop, you deal with the situation, and then if you wish to talk about it afterwards, you go ahead and talk about it. What we must show is our heart. Dudley is showing that he has a heart. Yes. He ain't making no $1 million. In fact, he's giving more than he's getting.
Said says too many boys and young men are being lost to gun violence and gangs. The launch of a new extension program, Let's Save Our Youth, will reach out to young men where they are in Pinder's Point and 8 Mile Rock.
We're going to take this to the length and breadth of Grand Bahama. There you go. What's been happening every time someone need help, they were coming to reach out youth organization in Freeport. But we're going to put a team together to take this organization, take this message throughout Grand Bahama. We're going to be launching in March 11th in 8 Mile Rock.
Also lending his support to Said and his efforts, Senator Kirk Russell. As a former trade unionist, Russell says he believes in standing up for what is right. He made this appeal and commitment to the organization.
We, as a country, we give all kind of grants, man, to foreign organizations. Yeah, they come in here and they do some good work and we appreciate them. But it's high time we start to take care of Bahamian NGOs such as Reach Out Ministries. Yes, yes. 15 years serving the community of Grand Bahama. And to date, Reach Out Ministry is not on the government grant program for NGOs. I am calling on my colleagues to ensure, that Reach Out Ministry is treated just like the Red Cross, man. It's treated just like the Salvation Army, man.
When our news comes back from the break, we're taking a trip to the north in our Grand Bahama in Focus segment. And wine is in order as Super Yacht Marina gets its first retail store. We have the details when our news returns. And now to our Generation Next segment. 30-year-old Ashanti Jupp is a marine biologist with a passion for connecting the community to nature. She says ever since she can remember, she has had a love for the ocean and animals.
If it feels right and if it lights your soul when you talk about it, you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Jupp, who says she earned the nickname Mermaid in high school, believes that more Bahamians should see the ocean as a part of their Bahamian identity. And although each island is separated by water, she says it is a unique link that connects us all.
2019, I got a full scholarship to go to the University of Cambridge and study my Master's of Philosophy and Conservation Leadership, which was such a great experience. And I was able to come back home and start working with the Perry Institute for Marine Science. And my favorite part about working in it is this community conservation education action program where we're working to build capacity in Bahamians. I love my country and I want to see more Bahamians in marine science. So one of the things that appealed to me so much about working with this organization is their passion for bringing on Bahamians. And even if you're not bringing on Bahamians to work as a marine scientist, we're very committed to building capacity in local Bahamians.
Having the opportunity to travel throughout the country has been the highlight of her career.
I got to go to San Salvador and see some of the iguanas that are on low key, and they're orange. Right, orange iguanas. And so, sorry, that was like such a, but even just being able to go to the shrimp hole on Long Island. Oh my goodness, like it's so much more. And like exploring the caves, the Hatchet Bay Caves in Eleuthera, going into Sweetings Pond and seeing the seahorses in Eleuthera, like it's so much. And so the highlight of my career has definitely been the exposure that I've gained in just being able to do what I love and travel the world and travel in this country.
When she's not working full-time at the Perry Institute of Marine Science, Jupp has tapped into hosting a web show.
And so on Siren Sundays, I'm able to go live and talk to scientists, practitioners, government officials about different topics related to conservation and the environment. So I like to call them conservation conversations. This was a passion project that started for me literally in the midst of COVID, towards the end of my master's program, but on the same track of I really like talking to people and everyone's on social media. I should do a show. I was approached by a regional organization and asked to do this special edition series for them. And so I've already completed one season of that. I'm starting the second season of that now, and that's actually a paid opportunity. And so after 5 months of really pushing with my passion project, I became profitable.
And her advice to other young people who may be interested in marine biology. She says keep pushing and let your passion be your guide.
Because a lot of times your passion is what's going to sustain you. And do not be afraid to try something different. So a lot of times when people get into this career, similar to what I did, I started working directly with marine mammals. I wanted to work with the dolphins and the sea lions, the very charismatic animals. And then I started finding myself just sort of interested in sea urchins, like the invertebrates, the smaller kind of creepy looking critters. And through that, I started being able to just participate in different trainings and get more aware of all these different things. And now I can definitely say that through doing that, I know a little about a lot.
Customers doing business with the Grand Bahama Port Authority will now be able to access the Port Authority services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This as the Port Authority launched a new online business portal yesterday. Our Sasha Lightborn has the story.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority rolling out a new business online portal this past Thursday. Port Authority Chairman Ian Rowe says the portal grants access to external investors and internal customers on a more efficient platform. The business license application process went live on Thursday.
We had an idea, and the idea was to create a one-stop shop where all of the various services that the Grand Bahama Port Authority Group offers is captured in this online portal. And so the journey then began for us to look at other portals that exist in various jurisdictions. And we saw the best features in these particular online portals, and we bought the features that made the most sense for this environment that we're in Grand Bahama. And today, we have probably one of a kind online one-stop shop portal.
Chief Investment Officer Derek Newbold says the launch of the portal is part of the authority's digital transformation. Beta testing began last December.
The platform was well received, and the critical feedback that we received from our customers was used to enhance and to improve the user experience. During the beta testing phase, we would have received and processed more than 50 applications. As an entity that focuses on serving the public, we felt that it was extremely important for us to make sure that our services were accessible to our customers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Customs Relations Manager Nicole Colbrook walks the media through the process.
Firstly, the user would log onto the portal at business.gbpa.com, where they would have to initially sign up with their email address and a password to gain access. Secondly, once the user signs up, they would receive an email verifying their email and password and asked to revisit the site to re-enter the credentials to access the portal in order to complete the application. Thirdly, the user would complete the application form and upload all the required documents, including payment, in real time, and then receive an instant confirmation that the application was submitted successfully. Once the application is submitted and all the required documents are verified, it is then processed within our approval time of 48 hours.
The portal can be accessed at business.gbpa.com. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Still to come, winds are high and skies are clear. We're going to take a look at weather. Welcome back to our news weekend edition. Winds have picked up over the past few days. Let's take a look at what the weather is going to look like over the next few days. Commonwealth Brewery held its official opening and ribbon cutting of its new 700 wines and spirits store at Hurricane Hole Super Yacht Marina, which is set to open in April. CBL Sales Director Wenrick Clark says 700 Wines and Spirits is the first retail store to open at the Super Yacht Marina.
It is a gem. Once fully completed, it will be a marvel. We greatly appreciate the team's support in assisting us to getting us where we are today. The journey ahead looks bright, and with the great excitement, we look forward to this successful partnership.
Sterling Global Advisory Services President and Managing Director of Hurricane Hole Super Yacht Marina, Kalis Roll, explains the marina is part of the $250 million Live, Work, Play Sterling Commons community.
It was a $250 million vision that included a promise of many job opportunities, many opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses, and solid permanent careers. That vision and the promise, but to make that vision a reality, we have to find great partners, partners who recognize great opportunities.
After taking part in the official tour of the store, the former Minister of State for Investment spoke with Our News about the development of the marina and plans for the future.
Well, we bought the property from Atlantis, and we looked at what was missing from Paradise Island, and we wanted to create an iconic destination. We wanted to create a downtown Paradise Island, a live, work, play community. And the centerpiece of this community is the marina.
Roll says there will be multiple employment opportunities for Bahamians at the marina. And that's going to do it for us here at Our News Weekend Edition. We thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a wonderful weekend.